I'm John Kramer, and here in Chicago, we have a teacher strike going on, which is political FUBAR on steroids. Political FUBAR. Today is the second day of the teacher strike here in Chicago, and as Mayor Rahm Emanuel said Sunday night, the kids belong in the classroom. He's made a lot of other statements about how our kids should be in the classroom and how this was a strike of choice on the part of the teachers union. But when he says our kids, he's not actually talking about his kids because they attend a private school. Just like Mayor Daley before him put his kids in private schools, and President Obama has put his daughters into private schools. And when you ask a lot of politicians about their choice to opt out of the public school systems which they run, they tend to get a little hot under the collar. Rahm Emanuel once walked out of an on-camera interview when this subject came up, and New Jersey Governor Chris Christie practically blows his stack when you ask him about his kids being in private schools. And this, I think, is the real reason why politicians on both sides of the aisle are giving up on public education, throwing more and more of our limited resources into charter schools, essentially moving towards a strategy of privatization of our schools. They're trying to assuage their guilt. They want to be able to look voters in the eye and tell them that they too can send their children to private schools and that the government will pay for it. But the dirty little secret of charter schools is that they can and do turn away anyone they don't want to deal with. If your kid has a disability, the charter schools will explain to you that they just aren't equipped to handle it. If your kid has a discipline problem, they're gone. If your kid isn't very bright, they don't want him because he'll drag their test scores down. And I know all of this because my wife is a Chicago public schools teacher, and she has seen firsthand kids getting tossed out of charter schools because their GPAs drop, they become discipline problems, or because English isn't their first language and they have trouble keeping up because most charters don't offer ESL services. And in fact, if you're a kid whose parents are too busy or too dysfunctional to jump through the hoops to get you into a charter school, well, you're just shit out of luck, because without a strong advocate, you're not getting in. Although, when it's all said and done, charter schools have been shown in a study by Stanford University to be doing no better than the public schools in educating our children. Although they have been shown to be really, really good at providing cover for politicians like Rahm Emanuel, who are running schools which they never attended themselves and to which they will never send their own children. And if that isn't political FUBAR, I don't know what is.